The channel's still young, so first can be had. Had plenty of retro reviews for movies. This is the first time Mr. Super Oz is doing a retro review for a wrestling show. The Great American Bash 2007 will be reviewed today. But before we get to the review, let me remind you, or if it's your first time here, let me tell you for the first time, I wrote a 68-page graphic novel called Everlasting Survivors. There are limited and first printing still available at Etsy.com. This is the Jeff Hicks cover. This is the Nick Crook cover. Once these sell out, they will never be printed again. I do have 2 new covers coming for the next printing, and when that comes, the book will go back to Indiegogo. Hopefully this channel builds the audience, more people will be interested, more people will buy. After the open, see what my thoughts are from the Great American Bash 2007. Notebook full of notes. Again. Let the fireworks begin! 4th of July celebration. Although it's long after the 4th of July. This was in 2007. It was the Great American Bash. The WWE version. Not the WCW created entity. Just like they always do, we open with a superb WWE recap video package. They did a good job of bringing me back to the time, because obviously we're a long ways away from 2007. Bobby Lashley felt like a big star from the package they put out, from the recap where they showed how we got here. Seeing the signs in the crowd, man, that's not something that people do anymore. One of the signs said, "It's your time, Bobby," which I thought was nice. I do think that it was Bobby Lashley's time, or could have been, in 2007. Obviously, for anybody who knows, Bobby Lashley is a former WWE champion. Does he win it on this night? We'll find out. But the first match of the night is Matt Hardy versus MVP Montel Vontavious Porter for the United States Championship. Once again, I will give credit where credit is due. They had another good recap video package. In the package, I saw not only the build-up for MVP and Matt Hardy, but I saw Chris Masters, and man, when I saw him, I was like, how is this guy not a bigger deal? He had the look, he had talent, he was a good dude. Don't ask me, didn't make it to the absolute tippity top. 1, 2, you hear the clock ticking. I love that theme song from MVP. The match itself, it doesn't start right away because MVP is being a very intelligent heel, talking trash, working up the crowd, getting them into it. He even rolls out of the ring before Matt can even get real offense in. And when MVP returns, that's when Matt dominates, sending MVP to the floor, launching himself out at him. Matt goes for the win, quick and often. He's an intelligent wrestler. If you ever read Exist to Inspire, you'll know that it's all he's ever wanted. Something that irritated me about the match, though, was one of the roaming cameras, the white balance was all off, and so when they would cut from the hard cam to one of the cameras that was on the move, the colors just didn't balance out, and it was just whew. That was hard to enjoy. But back to the positives of the match, and not one random person making a small mistake. Obviously, when MVP goes for the cover in the match, he does it deep. He puts all of Matt's body over him. It's just really refreshing to see somebody trying that hard to get the win. Matt kicks out of the pin, but it's nice to see somebody going for it like that. MVP puts Matt in this beautiful cravat where he starts raising up knees to his head, and then takes him down and starts laying in with these hammer elbows like the current Blackpool Combat Club do, whether it's Moxley or Bryan. It's just fun to see the fact that something that is highly emphasized in the now being done back then. Oh, this is a small thing, but man, it's nice to see a time when Raw, SmackDown, and ECW all have different referee shirts. I thought that was a nice touch that they did throughout that time of having three brands and trying to really identify each one of them differently. I put a note down. I was like, I'm pretty sure both these guys had Top Guy runs in TNA. It's just too bad TNA didn't have better distribution when they were there. I said side effect never wins. That's funny. But yeah, MVP does get the win after 20 minutes and 25 seconds. That was a great opening match. I gave it 4 stars in my 5-star rating system. And from that 4-star match, in my opinion, we head to backstage with Dusty Rhodes. He's so good at this. Oh my goodness. He talks eloquently. He does his natural thing. Well, I mean, that's Dustin's catchphrase, but you know what I'm saying. Dusty Rhodes doing Dusty Rhodes stuff. Big thumbs up. Love the man. Miss the man. And after the promo, we sadly head to the ring for what will become the end of the Cruiserweight division in WWE for, oh my goodness, is it a decade? Is it 12 years? I don't know, a long time. But before we mourn the loss of the Cruiserweights in WWE, let's go over who's in the match. So, Jimmy Wang Yang, the Asian cowboy redneck character, Shannon Moore, who's on his way to becoming a reject or the Punk character, not CM version, but whatever. They were both on ECW at the same time. Funaki, Jamie Noble, and champion cruiserweight champion Chavo Guerrero. Unfortunately, it's not just these guys because these are 5 great wrestlers. But before the bell rings and the commentators announce, anyone who is in the weight class is open to be a part of this Cruiserweight Open. And so before the bell rings, Hornswoggle runs in, ding ding, and then he runs out of the ring. Which, for anybody who remembers, that's going to be the finish. But before we get to the finish, it was a really good match. I mean, like I said, all 5 of them were really great wrestlers, but I asked myself while watching this, how is it that Vince thought that this was a bad division or that he should kill it? And then it occurred to me, 4 out of the 5 cruiserweights, and I'm not counting Hornswoggle, are ex-WCW wrestlers. Jimmy Wang Yang was Yang from the Young Dragons. Shannon Moore was Shannon Moore from 3 Count. Chavo was Chavo Guerrero from the Guerrero, famous Guerrero family. And Jamie Noble was one of the Young Dragons, Jamie-san. And so, honestly, I should have realized just from that sheer fact alone, and how much of the Cruiserweight division was made from the parts of World Championship Wrestling that Vince picked up from the purchase, whether it's Ray or Kidman or Ultimo Dragon. The list goes on. I mean, my goodness, WCW had such a plethora of wonderful, excellent, awesome cruiserweights. So why wouldn't Vince want to kill it? It's just one more way for him to say, I'm better than WCW. So, Hornswoggle pins Jamie Noble. Cole questions if Hornswoggle is even a cruiserweight. And I was like, how is he not? I mean, anyway, the match itself I give 3 stars. Just discounting the one move by Hornswoggle and the fact that he got 3 count. The other 5 wrestlers, excellent, awesome, great wrestlers. So I give it 3 stars. It's a sad finish. It's a sad demise to the cruiserweight division. So, people who still watch wrestling now know that the cruiserweights got a revival with the Cruiserweight Classic. If you've never seen it, go rewatch it. But unfortunately, it did get killed again when they had a Cruiserweight Championship, North American Championship unification match in NXT. But at least it was a respectful funeral, whereas this was just making jokes about things. At 35 minutes and 59 seconds, we get a promo package looking at Cena and Bobby Lashley's main event match. And my goodness, I don't know, no spoilers, but I'm surprised that it took so long for young Mr. Lashley to become the top guy. So, after what I thought was going to be a match I hated, but gave 3 stars, we go into a match that I completely forgot existed, a feud that I forgot existed, and it is a Singapore Kane on a pole match. Sandman with generic music comes into the crowd. No beer, no good music, no nothing. The crowd doesn't care. They want to like Sandman, like I want to like Sandman, but man, is it hard. And his opponent is Carlito, another guy who falls under that Chris Masters, Montel Vontavious Porter. Like, how was this guy not bigger than he was? Like, I'm thoroughly surprised that Carlito wasn't bigger, but maybe it's this match, because this is a first for the channel, Mr. Super Oz. I give this match 1 star. It is absolute trash. It's bad punching and kicking. It's people trying to climb up the pole and hitting them. But as soon as Sandman gets the Singapore Kane down off the pole, boom, backstabber, 1, 2, 3, Carlito wins. It was a pointless match. It was a dumb everything. Sad. Freaking sad. But moving right along, we go into the back for Randy Orton, getting his side of the story for his match his side of the story for the Texas Bull Rope match between him and the American Dream Dusty Rhodes. And just like Dusty, Randy knows how to cut a promo. It was awesome. Back to ringside. Now we're up for Melina challenging Candice Michelle. I almost said a different Michelle, but Candice Michelle. It was okay. It wasn't great. Melina did a really nice split-legged neck breaker. That was cool. But most of the time it just felt like Candice Michelle was not quite ready. And the worst part is she was the champion in the story, and she retains at the end. I'll give it 2. It's a passable match. And the thing I love about my number 2 star, passable, meaning it passes, or you can pass it. Either way works. I would recommend passing it if you're going to go back and watch Great American Bash 2007. But post-match, we get Matt Hardy hyping up Jeff Hardy in the back. And this turns into the weirdest thing possibly of the night. Candice Michelle, who I assume pre-recorded this segment, but they're pretending like is walking back from her match. It might be live, I don't know. Grabs a bottle of water, pours it all over herself, and they're like losing their minds. I don't understand what this did for anybody. I mean, I know Vince is weird, but I don't get it. Oh, and the segment ended with the All-American Ron Simmons, one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, being turned into the thing that he was in 2007 and long before and long after. A one-word joke. The man who walks up and just says, "Damn." I find it so sad because, again, I grew up thinking Ron Simmons was one of the best because, hey, he is one of the best. But so many of my friends, all they ever knew him was the guy who said one word and was always taken aback by it. And it's sad. Sad times. I guess he got paid good for it, but it's crazy. Up next is an Intercontinental Championship match. The Samoan Bulldozer without Alejandro. Man, what was his dang manager's name? Anyway, Umaga as the Intercontinental Champion without his manager. I know it's Alejandro Estrada, but anyway, I was surprised. This must have been around the time that Estrada was on ECW ? But anyway, and he's being challenged by Jeff Hardy. These guys have really freaking great chemistry. Jeff is always so good at being the babyface in peril. I'm telling you, when I was growing up, I always wanted to be. I wanted to be a babyface. I got to be one night, but every other match I ever had in my life, I was a bad guy. But Jeff Hardy is so good at being the babyface in peril. Crowd chanting "Hardy, Hardy." And heck, even Umaga's getting booed just for doing simple things like slamming Jeff and pulling on his hair. Like it's a really great match. There's a crazy twisting sidewalk slam at one point. Umaga hits a really big splash. Into the ring post and knocks himself nutsy, which was so super cool. When he does that, Jeff goes for the swanton and doesn't get the victory. The match ends with a super kick from Umaga to Jeff, and Jeff falls into the corner, gets that Samoan hip thrust. Picks him up, Samoan Spike, 1, 2, 3, 5-star freaking match. If you don't watch any other match on this show, go watch Umaga versus Jeff Hardy, and they've got so many other great matches. I totally recommend it. Also I took a note saying I love seeing the champion hold the title with his teeth, just like the savage that he is. I love it when Pete Dunne does it, Pete Dunne. It's just cool. It's a different feeling to have that going on. We now have a John Cena hype package, much like the Bobby Lashley one we got earlier. No doubt about it, Cena is popular, but he's in that period where he's getting the dual champs. And I think part of the problem is they said on commentary he's currently in his third run as champion and at 308 days undefeated in this run, not no losses, but has held the title for 308 days, which is a long time. So I can't blame the crowd for being against him, or not against, but being split. I asked if they so the next match is for the ECW Championship, John Morrison versus CM Punk. I asked here, did they dub out his listen, this ain't no make-believe song, or is this before he got it? Because you can hear the elements of the theme playing, but it's not all there. So I don't know whether this is before it got all done or if they screwed it up just a little. But I love that theme song. I literally have a friend who anytime he'd say, listen, I'd say, this ain't no make-believe, and he'd do it right back. It's good times. But Taz and Joey Styles on commentary for the night, for the ECW match of the night. Love the pairing. Taz still to this day doing some of the best work on commentary over in All Elite Wrestling. So when Punk came out, I was like, man, this feels like a totally different person. He's so young and it doesn't have all his tattoos, and it's just long hair, no beard, like not yeah. He's not what you know today as CM Punk, so it was just interesting. The two guys have really good chemistry. They're really tight in their fighting, not creating a whole lot of separation. They have a really nice monkey flip spot where Morrison takes a double rotation out from it. This note here is awesome. I said I always knew John Morrison was good, but I'm starting to think that he deserves to be in that MVP Chris Masters class of Miss Stars. But it's funny because he does fit with my exact observation of Matt Hardy, MVP, and the like. And he's a guy who got to be a top guy in Impact Wrestling, but never in World Wrestling Entertainment. So it's I don't know. There's just, I guess there's no room at the top when you got one guy being pushed. So the finish of the match, Punk goes for a springboard, and Morrison drop kicks his knee, and Punk takes a crazy face plant, and that gets the 1-2-3. I was really shocked by that. No Starship Pain or any finish that we knew or know that Morrison uses. But again, I feel like this match is on par with the opening United States title match. I gave it 4 stars. Really, a couple of really great guys doing really great work. Up next is the American Dream versus the Legend Killer. Amazing video package. It really goes over it goes over Dusty's history, showing off not just him and Cody in Cody's debut, but it goes all the way back to Gordon Soley doing famous promos with Dusty Rhodes. I was like, I hope whoever makes these video packages gets paid real good because they deserve it. And after the package, I hear, "Hey, nothing you can say." I mean, it's been so long since I've heard Randy Orton come out to anything other than voices in his head. I forgot he had it. I mean, not forgot, but it took me hearing it to remember he had a different theme song. Orton is such a smart bad guy. Like, don't get me wrong, Dusty is an amazing good guy, but Orton is such a smart bad guy. These two guys, Orton is rolling out of the ring and preventing the referee from hooking him up to the bull rope because he knows that the wily veteran of Dusty Rhodes knows what he's doing and he don't want none. Finally he comes in, the bell goes ding ding. Dusty's playing to the crowd. I love it. Like, this match was short, sweet, and to the point because, you know, Dusty's up there. But it does everything it needs to do. Yeah, Dusty's selling like it's his job, which, you know, in this case, he's the babyface. It is his job, but, like, he just makes Randy feel like a killer, which, poignantly enough, Legend Killer. I love it. Gave this match 4 stars. Randy Orton does get the win because why would he not? He's the young gun on the rise. Before we end this segment, Randy Orton goes to punt Dusty Rhodes in the head, just like was said in the hype package for the match. Randy punted Rob Van Dam and put him on the shelf. He punted Shawn Michaels, put him on the shelf. He's going to take out Dusty Rhodes, but then Cody Rhodes runs in, grabs the cowbell, and says, tells Randy, hey, you ain't gonna get by me. It's great. I love it. Again, 4 stars. Dusty, such a freaking treasure, and Randy, 20 years deep into wrestling, and it looks like he could go forever. Love that guy. So, I will say again, I thought from memory that the thing I liked the least was going to be Hornswoggle winning the Cruiserweight title, which, don't get me wrong, I don't love that he won it, and I hate that they got rid of the Cruiserweight division, but I got reminded of something else I dislike, from the opposite scale, not the short Hornswoggle, but the humongous Great Khali won a battle royal on Friday night when Edge had to relinquish his title en route to the Great American Bash, which sets up Kane versus Batista versus the Great Khali. Originally, it was supposed to be Kane challenging Edge for the title and Batista versus Khali. Or did I get that backwards? No, it was that. And the thing is that with Edge tearing his pec, they do the Battle Royal. Khali's crowned champion. Later on in the night, Khali, of the night that Khali gets crowned, they have Batista versus Kane. Winner challenges Khali, but just like every dumb heel in the history of pro wrestling has ever done, he gets him disqualified and makes it a three-way instead of a one-on-one. I don't like it. I've always thought it was lazy, but I get where they're coming from only because it was short notice and limited time to work. I know that I keep doing this. I've praised MVP's theme song. I praised Randy Orton's theme song, but I got to praise another theme song. The Kane theme song at this time, when it has words with the song, love it. Freaking good. Good stuff. This is why so many times the WWE will put out albums, I'll be like, yes, here's my money. And when Batista comes out, the crowd treats him like the star that he is. He's freaking over. They love him. And, I mean, why wouldn't they? The guy, he looks like $1 million. He's great. Evolution really put him on the map. I mean, the victory over Triple H, and he never lost out on it. He's still there to this day. So I took a page and probably a page and a half worth of notes. But the fact is, anytime Khali was in the ring, it wasn't very good. Anytime he was out, so there was one point where Kane and Batista both double powerbomb Khali through the announce table. That was pretty cool because it kept him out of the ring. But anytime he would come back, it just wasn't as good with Khali in it. So I'm going to skip a lot of these notes because I didn't like this match very much. I gave it 2 stars. Khali gets a not very good victory. I mean, whatever, he wins. He retains. It makes sense to the degree that he was a unexpected champion just 2 or 3 nights ago, I guess. But it was a lackluster victory. It was a lackluster defense, and he's gonna not be champion in like no time anyway. Good job, I guess. Up next, we get a Triple H's returning promo package again, just like every other time we get one. Do a great job. Love these guys. Then Booker T, King Booker, comes out. He says that he wants Jerome Lawler to renounce his throne because there's only one true king, and that's King Booker. He's also talking about Triple H because the King of Kings moniker. But I think all of this woulda, coulda, shoulda been saved for TV because it was not pay-per-view worthy. Hey, now time for the main event. Finally, we're at John Cena defending against Bobby Lashley. I love this note. Oh, never mind. Another promo package. This time, in the package, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and even John Bradshaw Layfield. All the guys are putting over both talents, which they both deserve it. They're both great wrestlers. So, I took 2 full pages and then a half-page notes for this match, this main event match. But it can really be summed up in just a few words. Power, they both have it. Bobby is looking strong throughout. But to me, and maybe it's because of hindsight, I just never felt like Lashley was going to win. And I think part of it is that they emphasized that John Cena was on a 308-day title reign. But as much as I wanted to believe in Bobby, I never believed he was going to win. And as much as I could feel it through the crowd, as much as they like Bobby, I never felt like any of the falls felt believable until we get to the top, or the finish where they're both on the top and Cena hits a top rope finisher and goes for the win. At that point, not only did I, seeing it, know, oh, this is the finish, but even the crowd, that's when they were like, no longer waiting. They just knew that was it. We end the night with Bobby Lashley shaking hands with John Cena. I give the match overall 4 stars because it's a really, really good match. And I think that if I could be in a 2007 mindset, I may have had more of a belief in Bobby Lashley. But in hindsight, I know that Bobby doesn't win until his second run, win the top belt until his second run in the company. As much as I think that he should have won here in 2007. And part of it is, it's like, how different could time have been? Could you have had Bobby Lashley be one of your linchpins, one of your mainstays of the company? I mean, we'll never know for then, but I think that, I mean, you had 3/4 of the Hurt Business at that time. Montel Vontavious Porter, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, all great guys now in this time, but they were great then too. So, like I said, overall, I'll grade the show. I swear, it's a good show. I'll give it a 4-star show because there was more good than there was bad. I mean, the bad was real bad. Hornswoggle in the Cruiserweight division, Khali being a terrible world champion, the women's division being in such disarray. But, and that Singapore Kane match, that was the worst of the worst. But even though those 4 things weren't as good as I would like, you've got the big Hoss fight for the world title match. You've got the excellent United States title match. You've got the Chef's Kiss Intercontinental title match between the Hardy and Umaga. And, again, even though we got 4 here because Dusty and Randy was excellent. So, I give it 4 stars overall. And if you got time to kill, you haven't watched it before, you wanna take that trip down memory lane. Yeah, Great American Bash 2007. There's some stuff you can skip, but there's some really good meat on the bone. So thanks for coming and listening to my review, my first ever retro review for a wrestling show. Yeah, this will be more common. I probably won't do it every month, but hit the big ones. SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, that type of thing. It was fun, and come back next time. Thanks. Bye.